So, how to remove hesitation while speaking English?
Yeah,
Because
I
that's
think,
a very
yeah,
biggest
absolutely.
problem. If you want to speak in English, like few words in front of your family members, in front of your friends, in front of your siblings, so they tell, "Oh, Angrez ban rahi hai. Oh, English." So at that point, we start hesitate a lot.
Hi, Mansi. I'm Selena.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm also good. For the first time, we are connecting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm
Yes.
looking forward to our session. So I was told, Mansi, you had a specific request regarding the session on
If
how.
you want, then there is no need to do that only.
No, we can definitely we can talk anything to help out your viewers as well. I believe you are a
Mhm.
YouTuber, right? So anything that can help them with developing their language as well, right? So
Yes, yes.
so when we are thinking about talking in English with a sense of fluency, without stuttering or without hesitating, I think one of the first practices, that this is something that we often hear everyone say, is that you try and record what you are saying.
Yes, that's
Try
an only option.
Yeah, I mean, have you tried that before? Like,
Yeah, many times. Actually, I started my YouTube channel to check myself, to check my progress. Yes.
okay. So how
And
long
it
has it
helped me a lot.
how long has it been since you've had the channel for?
It's been all about 4 years.
Oh, that's pretty
Yes.
long. So 4 years
Mhm.
of consistent efforts into maintaining your online presence. That's admirable.
Yes.
Yeah. So like you agreed to, I think one of the first things that we can all do is to try and record ourselves, because who can criticize us better than we ourselves do, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so when we record and when we replay the videos or the audios that we have, we get to realize where our tones might vary, where we are stuttering or where we are pausing or where we are using filler words like because that's something that people do. They're
I
always
used to use like. Uh,
yeah.
Still, I do it.
It comes even it's not possible to completely unlearn the habits that we have.
Yeah.
Try our
Mhm.
maximum to make sure that it stays on the minimal side when we are speaking. But it's
Mhm.
that's tips from me. I have a tendency to say right all the time. So it comes. But we
Yeah.
try and minimize it as much as we can, because when we use a specific filler word in a prolonged conversation, right, it can sound a little bit unpleasant to the listeners. That's one of the reasons why people strongly suggest that we try and overcome that. But at the same time, too,
Mhm.
as long as the conversation is running smoothly, a lot of it need not be considered
Mhm.
to the point of scrutiny, if you know what I mean. So that's one thing that we can all do. And I think one of the best ways to make sure that we speak in English very naturally without hoping to translate everything. See, because that's what normally happens. We think in our native language and we try and translate it when we speak.
Yeah.
But instead of that, if we can gain that habit of thinking in English, then when you start speaking, it comes out naturally. Of course, us
Mhm.
being non-native speakers of the language, it's not
But to
quite
do this, we have to do practice a lot,
a lot.
many
I totally
years. Then we can think in English directly. Otherwise, we have to do it
yeah,
translation
yeah.
and all.
And I think something that everyone can learn from your journey as well, right? You've been
Mhm.
doing this consistently for 4 years. That's a huge commitment. It's imagine if you decided to take it for a few months and you thought, okay, this is enough. The progress that you have today wouldn't have had happened then. No. So I think that is
Yes.
something. Won't you agree? I mean, if you can, then do share an experience of what it was like to gain that fluency, or how did it take? How long did it take for you to get comfortable with the language?
Actually, before getting married, I used to speak English comfortably, but after getting married and I had lost my confidence and to
Uh-huh.
overcome from my fear and from my hesitation. So it took me, I think, still I have been doing the same. So it took me 4 years, we can say. And when I started my YouTube channel for improving myself, for improving my communications, so at that time I was so underconfident and I was feeling like, should I do it or not? And I did it. without
Mm-hmm.
telling anybody. I didn't tell anybody that I'm going to open my YouTube channel and Facebook page also. I was
Mm-hmm.
doing it secretly. And slowly and gradually, I started getting positive response from audience. You are doing very well. You are really doing hard work. You are improving your way of communication. You are motivating us also. So in this way, I got lots of confidence and motivation. And yeah, when I watch my previous videos, I laugh a lot because at that time, yeah, that
Yeah,
was
but
not
that
so
was.
bad, but still, if I compare myself with previous Mansi, so there
Mhm.
is huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it should be. We should be able to assess ourselves, right? If there is no growth, it means we're not learning
Yes.
something new, right? If you had the same fluency that you possessed, say, 3 years back, then where's the growth, right? So I think it's
Yes.
nice that you can look back and see how far you've come. That's a memory, and I think that's something that you as well as I can advise any beginner who's learning the language is to start thinking in the language, start getting comfortable with it. But then again, one of the issues that a lot of the people who learn the language in our country they face is they don't get that opportunity to communicate in the language.
Even in India, what happens in so many families, if
Yeah.
there is no background of English, nobody speaks in English. If you want to try, if you want to speak in English, like few words in front of your family members, in front of your friends, in front of your siblings, so they tell, oh, Angrez ban rahi hai, oh, English. So at that point we start hesitate a lot, and at the time we think, oh, I will never speak in front of them. So in this way
Mhm.
we cannot practice at home in front of anybody, because when you try to say anything in English, they say, okay, Angrez ban. So how to remove hesitation while speaking English?
Yeah,
Because
I think,
that's a very
yeah,
biggest
absolutely.
problem.
Yeah, so something that you can do in situations like that is to try not to beat yourself up. At the end of the day, what you need to realize is you are learning the language. It doesn't
Yes.
matter what other people think. Of course, yes, when you live in a society, there is a few considerations that you have to make because we all are ultimately trying to blend in with the crowd, not
Hmm.
stand out. But at the same time, too, giving yourself that space to get past that embarrassment or get past that hesitation that you might feel. You need to
Hmm.
have that because if we think, okay, nobody's gonna accept me speaking English with them because they are native speakers and they might think that I'm trying to attribute myself to the native speakers, and we'll never learn. We need to make sure that we make that mistake while we are speaking. We try it because sometimes even as somebody who's quite fluent in the language, right, sometimes when you're in a conversation you might not get the right word, you might not get the right sentence. So then on top of the listener thinking that okay, this person is trying to speak in English, you're all, when you make a mistake, it gets worse.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
ultimately what you need to take out of it is you don't need to beat yourself up because we are all learning this language together. It doesn't matter if you're somebody who's an advanced learner who's been professionally trained. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner with just a few classes or just have had basic English knowledge. Ultimately we're all learning through the language, and I think it helps a lot if you can give yourself that appreciation and love rather than beating yourself up over small mistakes, because mistakes need to happen. You need to put yourself in such embarrassing situations, only then we learn from it. But if we hold, we see, because the journey will be tough, but towards the end of it, when you learn and master the language, people are not going to remember the struggles that you faced. They will
Mhm.
remember how fluently you speak, because nobody
Yes.
remembers the process, the people remember the end result. So maybe currently if you end up facing such degradation from the people around you while you're speaking the language, right, the same people might appreciate you for speaking it fluently.
Yes.
So that's something that we need to
Hmm.
realize. So give yourself that space to be vulnerable, because who knows, maybe watching you converse in the language might inspire someone else to try and learn it.
Hmm. That's what I did because
Yeah,
of my
exactly.
YouTube channel.
Oh, see, that's what you are, a living
And
proof
my
of.
YouTube channel's name is very unique, Housewife English Corners. So I motivated
Okay.
a lot to homemakers.
Yeah,
They tell
homemakers.
me, ma'am, because of you, I started my journey. Because of you, I started my journey. So I feel very
Absolutely. See,
proud. Like,
It makes you feel happy as well, no? I mean,
hmm,
because you get the feeling that someone else is benefiting off of the step that you took, and that
yes,
wouldn't have happened if you didn't have that courage in the first place. If you didn't get past the stigma that's associated with speaking the language, right? I
yes.
mean, Mansi, come on, tell me what it was like when you initially started. Of course, there must have been struggles, right? Because you must have not had the time.
Initially, when I started, when I was in 12th standard, I started speaking willingly because I was about to take admission in college. And in
Mhm.
Delhi University, you know very well that they show off every time. So when I took admission in masters, not in master, when I took admission in bachelor's, so at that time, everybody in my classroom, they used to speak in English only. They used to show off that they are very intelligent. So
Mhm.
I used to feel I'm nothing. I was nothing at that time when I took admission in my college. So I started learning, like I started speaking. I surrounded myself with that type of group when people used to speak in English only, and I used to commit many mistakes. I did not used to afraid that, oh my god, what if I make mistake? What if I speak in front of them? And I did not used to think these type of negativity. I used to think like I have to learn it, I have to speak it anyhow. And anyhow, I have to do it. I will not think about others, how they speak. I will think about myself. I'm making mistake, and I used to compare myself with them also. Like if I used to say any sentence, I used to listen the same sentence from others. That how do they pronounce? How do they
Mhm.
tell this sentence? So in this way, I used to rectify my own mistakes. Still I do the same when I
Yeah,
have any
I mean,
doubt in like on myself. So I start comparing myself with others, like I am correct or not. And like in this way I
yeah, I mean,
compare.
ultimately, like you suggested, Mansi, what we need to take a note of is it's more about making sure that the person understands what you're saying rather than being preoccupied with whether or
Yeah.
not what you're saying is the right pronunciation or whether because
Hmm.
again, like you agree to and like we discussed, it takes mistakes for us to grow from it, and it's beautiful that you never gave up despite facing challenges in the initial phase. You constantly pull
Hmm.
through. You didn't demotivate yourself. Instead, you said, "No, I learned." And look at where
Hmm.
your trajectory, your career trajectory is the biggest example of what consistency can yield, right?
Yes.
So I think that's what I can say to your viewers as well, to never lose that dedication and commitment that they show on the first.
Hmm.
The
And
kind of
one more thing, if anybody's trying to speak English, feel like I'm speaking better than others. They don't know English. I'm the only one who speaks English, who knows very well. So in this way, you can start. You can remove your hesitation. You know, you can remove, and
yeah,
slowly and gradually you can correct your all mistakes. You can learn from others. You can hire any tutor also. But
yeah,
initially, you have to think like I'm the only one who can speak English. Then you
yeah.
can start only because taking first step toward our journey, it's really very difficult,
Very
really
difficult
difficult.
because the amount of negativity that you could potentially get is
Yeah.
more than the positivity that
Hmm.
you get. But self-confidence goes a lot of ways. But at the same time, there should be willingness to learn and accept mistakes.
Yes,
It's,
yes.
imagine if we are saying something wrong, we shouldn't have the feeling that okay, it,
In my class, there was a girl, and her name was, I think, Yashmin. I think so. She used to be very smart and overconfident. When she used to make any mistake and teacher used to guide her, she used to say, "No, I did not make any mistake. We should not be so arrogant. If we are committing any mistake, we should like accept that. Yes, I'm making. I need to improve. I need to learn because nobody is perfect. We all are learning. If
yeah,
somebody is guiding us, we must be thankful that that person is ready to rectify my mistakes and
absolutely. and
correct
and
my
I,
mistakes. So
and I think that we need to which also helps in cases like this if you have somebody who's patient enough to sit by you
yeah.
and lead you with them through the journeys. If you have somebody that you can talk to in the language on a regular basis, who is open to the mistakes
Hmm.
that you could potentially make, and help you along with it without making you feel like you are committing a grave mistake, then
Yes,
it's good.
yes.
Definitely. So if you can get someone like that, it's really nice. But unfortunately, not everybody is blessed with such a situation. So the best thing that you can count on at the end of the day is yourself. It doesn't matter. You
Yes.
can still speak to yourself. You can still talk to yourself. See, I do that sometimes. Like if I'm making something, or if I'm making tea, I say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Even something as simple as that, a simple sentence like that, it takes you a long way, because you start thinking in the language naturally when you start to let it out, rather than, because when you read the correct pronunciation, or when you read the correct tense, the reading alone is not going to do you any help until and unless you learn to channel it and bring it out.
Yes, yes.
So I think it's
But
ultimately.
initially, we need to speak anyhow, whether it is in a wrong way or right way, broken way, any way, any way. But we have to start with the speaking
Yeah,
only.
the first step, that should come from you. That should come
Yes.
from the person who wants to commit to the learning, because ultimately what we need to think is the amount of energy and passion that you had on day one should be
Hmm.
there till the end.
Till
The
the
day,
end.
whichever that day,
Hmm.
you need to have that same passion. So just like you suggested, Mansi, that first step is what will determine your commitment to this. And if you can
Hmm.
maintain that throughout, then you won't even know the progress happening. But at one point, you will be like, okay, I've come this far. Have you had that
Hmm.
feeling where you were
Yes.
thinking, okay, this one day you thought, okay, yes, I can't believe I've come this far. And that comes from growth. That comes
Hmm.
from making mistakes. That comes from
Yes.
having that confidence. Like everything that you suggested,
Because when
every
we learn, like when we learn cooking, how to cook anything, or when we learn anything, any art or any stitching or anything in the world, so initially we make anyhow, like sometime we don't know how to make it beautifully, or we just want to like try that. So if we know which type of ingredients and which type of things we need to add into this, then if we know these basic things, then we can like add some extra efforts, and then we can make it. What I'm
customize it.
saying, what I'm saying.
Customize it, personalize it. What you are
Mhm.
trying to say is personalize it. Personalizing
Yes.
means when you
Then we
take
can
some.
do experiment with the things, you know. If we
Okay.
know the basic things, then we can experiment the things. If we don't know if we don't know basic things like grammar, modals, you know, and prepositions, we don't know these basic things in English, like tenses also, then how can we experiment? If we know, then we
Mhm.
can experiment. So initially, how many mistakes we can make, we should try to do that. We
Yeah,
must make
yeah,
mistakes.
I would even say you should expect at least one mistake with every sentence that you speak. You should have that in your mind, as I'm gonna make a mistake and I'm gonna learn from it.
Because nobody
And
is teaching you, nobody is guiding you, so you want to teach yourself, then try to make many mistakes and in front of the people, those who know better than you, then they will guide you and take them politely and positively.
yeah,
Yes, I
always
have
make room.
somebody.
Yeah, always make room for acceptance. Ultimately,
Hmm.
I totally agree with what you're saying. So this is something that we can sum up the whole journey of learning the language and speaking it without hesitation. I would say what you said, we can all incorporate into it. How somebody needs to remain confident, how they need to have that willingness to make mistakes, how they shouldn't find themselves feeling overwhelmed in situations, and ultimately realize that we're all learning in our own way, regardless of whether or not you've been
Hmm.
practicing the language for a day or it's been a decade. It doesn't matter. We're all in this journey together. And that acceptance, like you suggested, to understand where that other person is coming from, that helps. So I think that's something that we can sum up the whole topic, right? Into Mansi.
Yes.
Anything else that you would like to contribute?
Hmm. No, you can add something.
I think you covered pretty much everything that we had to discuss. I think you managed to contribute to the ideas that I
Actually,
had.
if I tell about myself, nobody taught me. I did
Hmm?
not have anybody who could teach me, because when I was in school at that time, it was very difficult to find any good tutor. Now it's very easy. Now I have so many tutors on Clapingo, so they are helping me. But at that time, when I was learning, actually, I was not aware about all the topics of grammar, and I was learning. I was making mistakes, many mistakes, and I was not aware about, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, that was very difficult. But now it's very easy. We can take help from tutors, we can rectify our mistakes, and we can learn. We can, like, it's very easy now.
Yeah, and it's a practice for us as well, Mansi. It goes both ways because we tend to,
Hmm.
no, we look forward to sessions like this where we get to polish our skills as well.
Yeah.
The learning goes both ways. While
Hmm.
get what you want, like when you learn from the session, we learn as well. We try to
Yes.
brush up whatever skills you. So yeah, that's the
Hmm.
mutual codependency that comes with every conversation. So that's, I think that's one of the best things that can happen if you are trying to actively pursue the language. So I am very much impressed with the inputs that you put in into
Thank you
the
so much.
conversation, and I'm really glad that you've remained consistent.
You smile like a Priyanka Chopra, you know that? Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Now you're looking exactly like her.
Oh, thank you so much, Mansi.
Yes.
That's such a sweet compliment. I think you are a very it's very inspiring to see people who confidently express their journey and say, yes, I've made mistakes and I've learned from it. So it's really beautiful to hear that, and to it's really beautiful to hear you narrate your experience, because that serves as an inspiration for us as well. So ultimately, thank you so much for this session. Hopefully we'll meet again sometime else,
Yes,
and yeah,
sure, sure. We will
both of
meet
us can
again.
update each other with our progress.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so
So,
much for guiding me and guiding
you too.
my audience. Bye bye.
Yeah,
Have a good day.
you too. Bye bye.